All right, everyone, you might notice I actually have some color on my face for once. I did take a couple days to get out of the So You Think You Can Tout universe, touch a little grass, played a little golf, really just stepped away and got my mindset right as we went into this elimination. As a contender, I didn't want to be sitting around making content, just thinking constantly about my state in the game. So I think that was really good, but I'm excited to be back here creating content. It feels like when you step away for a couple days that you missed a lifetime of content and updates. So obviously, even if the show is progressing at a certain level, the show is always going. There's always people playing. I'm always trying to make sure I'm in the mix on everything and talking and building relationships. But yeah, I'm happy to explain, my process about the challenge and answer any questions. I want to be an open book as much as I can. So happy to, meet with all you. But yeah, Lou just told me over the phone that I did get in to So You Think You Can Tout Season 1, the main cast. This really feels like the real announcement. The last one to be a contender, I was happy. I was proud to be moving on. But now I feel like I've really solidified my foot in this game. And I'm excited where we can go going forward. But yeah, I want to get into the challenge a little bit. So Pete sent out some guidelines on the front end, told us the prompt, told us that we were going to have to talk about the best player on the board. And, he was super strict with us that we weren't allowed to share any information internally. We weren't able to collaborate on the challenge. We weren't able to share anything externally, which disappointed me a little bit as someone who has built a lot of relationships and built some alliances, just from the standpoint of, I think collaboration makes content stronger. So not being able to talk to other people, I thought probably put me in a weaker position, but it also tipped me off to the fact that maybe there is going to be a twist, or maybe we're going to have different kind of prompts. And so that gave me a leg up in my preparation. Obviously, everything in this, game, this contest, this entire world that we're building is about adaptability and about the unpredictable nature, but I think there's still merit to, preparing on the front end of things. So, I prepared that Javonte Williams player take. I scripted it. I didn't want it to seem too scripted. I wanted to, my premise going in was, if I were actually on ship chasing right now, what is a time-based take that I would actually give? And the Javonte Williams take as it relates to the schedule is something that I'm actually really confident in, and something that I would feel good about putting my name on to give to other people. Again, player takes probably not my greatest strength and probably not where I'm able to provide the most value as a tout, but given the nature of the challenge, I wanted to make sure that I was doing something I really believed in. Now, because I thought there could be a twist, I also prepared a Justin Herbert take, which I'll probably drop on the channel this week, about why he's the worst player on the board, and another take that I do believe in. But even though the challenge didn't end up being, just a flip on like who's the worst player on the board, what was actually taking your player and having to argue against him, it still gave me an advantage, I think, in being in that mindset and having different avenues and windows and kind of premises for my argument that I could bring to the table. Which I know, sorry if this is sounding like high level, but that's just kind of like where my mindset was going into the challenge. And, obviously super happy with my score being one of the top point getters in this round. I'm happy to, go out there and now compete with the other locks and prove our status as contenders that we belong with those guys. They've been sitting back. I know that they've been producing content, they've been getting on streams with each other, but I think going through this process and having to be judged and having to show that we have what it takes to go on to the next round, I know I feel momentum, and I'm sure the other contenders feel the same. And so I'm excited to see how we can prove ourselves, not only to the general public, but to those locks as we move forward in the competition. But yeah, happy to get into, any of your guys' questions. But before we do, it is a happy day for me. I am very proud, but I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment of silence for our fallen Tout House members and some of the people I've broken bread with over the past, and just anyone who put their name out there and, moved on to the contender bucket and weren't able to move on in this competition. It's a tough pill to swallow. It's been a tough few days of just sitting around and waiting. So yeah. And with that being said, I am happy to answer any questions that you all may have. Chip Remington, ESPN. Commish, any relation to John Daigle? Yeah, no relation to John Daigle, although there aren't many Daigles in this world, so I wouldn't be surprised if we are distant relatives of some linkage. But no, I mean, if I were directly related to him, I could actually grow some decent facial hair, so I think I'm safe on that standpoint. With that being said, I would love to produce a Two Daigles show in the future, or some sort of content around our last name. I mean, I had to go through years and years of bagel jokes growing up, so it would be nice if I could use my last name for something in my life. Kent Hollis, Esquire. Commish, any comment on those who feel that your pitch might be off-putting? Yeah, look, it was a good day for me in the live chat. You know, a lot of positive comments, a lot of steam on behalf of my name, which I'm super appreciative of, honestly. And thank you to everyone who had my back as we were going through that video. But yeah, there was that comment. And honestly, you know, the pitch, it's hard for me to control. I have had, you know, some speech difficulties in my life. I used to have a really bad lisp growing up. I have a really big tongue for my mouth, so fitting it behind my teeth is hard to talk. Did speech therapy a lot growing up, so maybe pitch therapy is in my future. I hope it's not too grating for most people, but you know, I am always looking for something to work on. So yeah, no excuses, and I'll look into it. Commish, what were your thoughts on the $3 bid in the Calcutta auction on the Swolecast? Yeah, look, yeah, that was really the last piece of content that I saw before I took my little weekend hiatus away from this world. And look, man, you know, there are a lot of ways that I could react to this right now. A lot of strong emotions, even a couple days after the fact. I'm just gonna say this, Daniel, those are the best $3 that you ever spent. Okay, it's gonna look like Bitcoin in 2012. All right, I'm gonna make sure that you get your money's worth out of your investment. I thank you for investing in me. I don't care about the other clowns, okay? I don't care who they bet on, because obviously they didn't know what they were doing. So I'm not gonna, you know, I don't harbor any ill will towards any of the judges or any of the, you know, I guess not judges, but the people that were bidding. They have their own lives. But Daniel, I appreciate that you saw something in me and you put $3 on my name, and that's a debt that I feel indebted to. And I'm going to make sure that I produce for you. Every video is for you and Celsius, my sponsor. So, you know, yeah, excited. You know, I've probably already paid off my EV, and I'm a rocket ship, and we're gonna go from here. Trust that. Are you excited to join the locks, and are there any locks that you have your eye on as you enter the next phase of the competition? Yeah. Hey, that's a tough question. You know, I respect a lot of the locks. I'm not going to say all of the locks. There may be a certain, you know, tell, don't show villain of the competition who has been sitting back doing nothing while 80% of the contestants have been eliminated by this point. And I guess this villain didn't have much to say about everyone getting eliminated. And I guess this villain hasn't built any relationships to this point within the show, which, how are you going to betray people? How are you going to pull a PPR Tyler and betray your best friend if you don't have any friends? You know, maybe I'm just old fashioned, but I think the best villains believe that they're heroes in their own story and just don't claim to be the villain and then do absolutely nothing to this point to back it up. So, you know, aside from that, I respect a lot of the other locks. I think Goofy Chicken's great. PPR Tyler, Cups. I mean, those are all guys that I have a lot of respect for, you know, as does a lot of the community. And so I'm excited to collaborate with them and work with them to produce the best show going forward. You know, some of the locks, we'll see. We'll see. I guess we're all locks now, right? All right, I got time for one more. Yeah, Ty Sheffield with Yahoo. Commish, how do you shoot today on the course? Yeah, that's the one we want to end on. Yeah, look, didn't shoot great today. You know, two-man scramble, we shot in 91. We lost to our other two friends who shot in 81. And me and my friend had to give up $100 fab in our fantasy football league for next year, JPDL, best league in the world. So yeah, it was a good wager. At first, we were going to wager 2029 first. Happy that did not come to fruition, but you know, has this contest taken away from my golf game a little bit? Sure has. Sure has. Irons are not dialed in right now. So, but I'm excited to hit the links in a couple months after his competition is wrapped up and debrief things a little bit. But yeah. All right, yeah, guys, that is going to be my time today. But again, super excited about the future of this competition, where we are right now, what transpired today. So I think it's been a good day overall, and I'm going to kick back, watch Toxic Tower tonight. Shout out, got to follow Toxic Tower. Must watch TV. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one, and hopefully there will be many more of these interviews to come. Shout out Lou Dog, shout out Pete. I'll make y'all proud, and that's all from the Commish.